a tribute to the vision, value and legacy of Sri A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar, a true luminary. Tamil uyarnal, Tamilan uyarvan.
I request you all to stand for the recital of Tamil Thavam.
நீராடும் கடலொடுத்த நிலமடந்த கிழிலொழுகும் சீராடும் பதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிழில் தெக்கணமும் அதிசிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு திரை முதலும் தரிசனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனகே தமிழனகே உன் சீரிழமை சிறந்தியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Please be seated. Your smile is the universal welcome, says Eastman. To begin today's event, now I invite Sri S.P. Selvaraj, Chairman of Jnanam School of Business, to deliver the welcome address.
Respected Chief Guests, dignitaries, officials, well-wishers, staff team, students, admins, family members, and friends, greetings. It is with immense joy, pride, and deep sense of reverence that I stand before you today to deliver the welcome address for the 11th A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Memorial Lecture here at Jnanam School of Business, Tanjavur. On behalf of our management, faculty, students and the entire GSP family, I extend a warm and wholehearted welcome to each one of you gathered here today. We are truly blessed to be part of this memorable occasion that carries forward a legacy rooted in wisdom, service and social transformation. The occasion we celebrate here today is not merely a ceremonial gathering. It is a tribute to a life that defined generations. The A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar was not just a name, but a moment. A visionary who believed in transformative powers of education and a philanthropist who gave back to the soil that raised him. Born into a time when access to education was privileged, reserved for a few, he dedicated his life to ensuring that education reached the farthest corners of Tanjavur and beyond. A true son of the soil, he understood the pulse of the rural India and envisioned a future where knowledge would empower generations. He firmly believed that education is not just a tool for employment, but a foundation for enlightenment. He was a person of deep conviction, simple living, and profound ideals. His humility was as remarkable as his vision. For him, education was not charity, it was justice. And we at GSP proudly stand as a testament to these ideals. It is no coincidence that this memorial lecture is hosted at Jnanam School of Business, Tanjavur, because GSP is not just an institution, it is a living embodiment of Parisutha Nadar's ideals and aspirations. Founded under the aegis of A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Centenary Foundation, GSP is a top-tier B-school in South India, designed to produce not just business graduates, but responsible leaders with values, purpose, and vision. The curriculum and the campus culture are deeply rooted in ethics, discipline, and excellence, values that Parisutha Nadar lived and breathed. At GSP, we don't just teach management, we instill leadership that is compassionate, socially conscious, and deeply grounded in integrity. The spirit of GSP reflects a balance between professional growth and personal character. In a world racing towards profits and performance, GSP continues to stand as a space where values meet ventures, where ethics shape entrepreneurship, and where legacy meets leadership. We proudly carry forward the torch of through A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar's dream, nurturing leaders who serve not only markets but also communities. The A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Centenary Memorial Lecture Series is one of the flagship events of our institution. Over the past 10 years, this lecture has brought together eminent personalities from the fields of judiciary, public administration, governance, and academia. We who have shared not only their expertise but also their values and life journeys with our students and faculty. The purpose of this lecture is not merely to listen but to reflect. It is a platform where thought meets transformation. It is the moment when we pause our daily routine and open ourselves to a higher discourse on service, leadership, and ethics and excellence. Each year, the memorial lecture is curated to reflect the values of Parisutha Nadar stood for: humility in power, responsibility in leadership, and compassion in governance. We are immensely honored this year. We are joined by none other than Honorable Justice Sri Cyril Thamari Selvam, former Judge of Madras High Court, who has graciously accepted our invitation to deliver the 11th Memorial Lecture. Sir, your judicial contributions have deeply impacted the legal and social landscapes of Tamil Nadu. Your commitment to upholding justice, your fearless integrity, your dedication to public welfare resonate profoundly with the spirit of this lecture series. We are indeed privileged to have you in our midst today. Your words and wisdom will no doubt leave an impeccable mark on the minds of all gathered here, especially our students. We welcome you. In addition to the lecture, every year we honor an eminent personality with A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Memorial Award for Excellence. This award is not given lightly. It is reserved for individuals who have shown exemplary dedication to public service, governance, and national progress. This year, it gives us immense pride to confer this award upon Padma Bhushan Sri N. Gopalaswamy, A.Y.S. Sir, your impeccable career in public administration, your transformative leadership in election commission, your lifelong dedication to transparency, discipline, and integrity make you the most deserving recipient of this award. You are a role model for every aspiring civil servant, policymakers, and administrators. Your acceptance of this award honors us more than it honors you. Through you, we reaffirm our belief that excellence is not about position, but about purpose. Not about, but about. Heartily welcome. It's my honor and privilege to welcome our well-wisher Sri R. Vishwanathan, former Indian ambassador to Argentina and Latin American countries, who is also son of soil. He was the first recipient of the prestigious A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Award just because the people of but also because they are people who are of the to honor dignitaries, alumni, guests, well-wishers. We have taken time, who have taken time out of their lives to be here today. We extend a hearty gratitude, warm welcome to everyone, and relations had meaning to this and reflects the strong bond that this institution to institution and the world. To our beloved faculty, thank you for being pillars of this institution. Your continuous effort in monitoring, shaping, and guiding our students go far beyond the classroom. Our enthusiastic and ever-curious students, this event is for you. These lectures, these awards, these legacies are meant to show you that world respects values, honors, service, and celebrate those who live for the cause larger than themselves. And to the A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Centenary Foundation, we thank you for your unwavering support and vision in continuing this tradition year after year. As we begin this inspiring event, let us remind ourselves why we are here. We are not just celebrating the past, we are preparing for the future. A future where leadership is rooted in character. A future where ambition walks hand in hand with compassion. A future where education serves both self and the society. With these thoughts, I once again welcome you all to the 11th A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Centenary Memorial Lecture and Award Ceremony. Let this day of reflection, let it be a day of reflection, inspiration, and recommitment to the values that stand test for the time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Great achievement always requires great sacrifice. Let us now take a moment to look back and reflect on the extraordinary life and service of Sri A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar and celebrate the legacy of our distinguished awardee Padma Bhushan Sri N. Gopalaswamy through this special audio-visual presentation.
Life of Sri A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar and the origin of GSP. Sri A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar, the son of love and care, was a philanthropist in Tanjavur who enjoyed a widespread goodwill for his contribution to the society, especially to the poor and downtrodden in this region. During his lifetime, an inspiring figure who stood for his principles, he is remembered and cherished for his kind-hearted nature. He served 3 terms as MLA of Tanjavur. He was responsible for implementing various social welfare measures for the people of Tanjavur. Sri A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar is held in the highest regard for his kind-hearted nature, courage and leadership as a political leader, and above all, a social advocate. A multi-talented personality with a keen love for sports, especially football, he was part of the Madras football team, state-level billiards champion, and an accomplished tennis player. However, as a pinnacle of achievement, he got his pilot license. During the Second World War, he served as an air raid warden, and then British government recognized his services to the society and honored him with the title of Ramsar. He was a member of Forum, led by Father Jerome Bezosa, when the Constituent Assembly set up a committee under the chairmanship of Dr. Ambedkar. It was formed to take care of the provision for the protection of minorities. At that time, going abroad was a rarity. He has visited USA, England, Japan, Russia, Italy, France, etc. After the independence, he has been the president of Thanjavur Congress Party, continued to exhibit his passionate attachment to social service. He has been an active member of Tamil Nadu Congress Committee and very close to Karmaveera Kamaraj, G.K. Moopanar and Krishnaswamy Mandela and other prominent leaders too. His lifetime services to the citizens of Thanjavur left everyone impressed. The people of Thanjavur revered him and elected him to represent their constituency thrice in the Tamil Nadu Assembly during this period and later as the chairman of Thanjavur municipality. He worked hard to establish the Thanjavur Medical College. He etched his name in golden letter every one of his public activity such as politics, education, social service, industries, etc. He has left his footprints strong in his lifetime, and then born generation now will sing his glory of his name and fame. He said, vision is seeing the invisible, giving it shape is wisdom. And it culminates the birth of Jnanam School of Business that grooms the potential of business leaders. Jnanam School of Business is a unit of Sri A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Centenary Foundation, a public charitable trust that commenced in 2009 to commemorate the birth centenary of A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar, a well-known son of the soil from this part of the region. Following the ideals and principles of Sri A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar, Jnanam School of Business was established in our own Thanjavur Delta with a vision and determination to transform the young and ambitious individuals into highly competent and responsible corporate leaders. The campus has well-planned computer lab with a high-end services, advanced personal computers and multimedia system, high bandwidth internet connectivity and Wi-Fi facility, enabling the students to have adequate access to all the latest software packages required by the students in his or her daily academic life. The classrooms are equipped with multimedia and audio-visual facilities which enable the effective learning, the beautification of land adorned with lawns, clean air, pure water, well-thought-out infrastructure, latest technology and a safe milieu make the premises a perfect place for education for excellence. With an established air-conditioned library that includes large number of books and national and international periodicals. GSB campus has separate residences for men and women. The twin sharing accommodation resembles that of service-type apartment, modern bath fittings, beds, linen, separate wardrobe, and desk with built-in bookshelves. Ergonomically designed seating for the students to work from the residence. The recreation halls in both residences are provided with indoor sports such as carom and table tennis. The common recreational food court of international standard provides the students cuisines of their choice. The food served is of high quality, nutritious and healthy. In an attempt to preserve the legacy of Sri A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar, whose contribution to social service and education is evident from his deeds, GSB has instituted the A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Centenary Memorial Lecture Award for Excellence. The significance of this award is to recognize and honor the individuals who hail from the Thanjavur Delta region for their outstanding contribution towards business and society in their chosen field.
His Excellency Sri R. Vishwanathan, former Indian Ambassador to Latin America, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. Sri S. Balasubramanian, Non-Executive Chairman, City Union Bank Limited. Kalvi Kabilar Shriman Tulasi Ayya Vandaya, Secretary and Correspondent, ABVM Shri Pushpam College, Pundi. Shri Kumar Venu, Founder and CEO, GoFrugal Technologies. Shri A. Balasubramaniam, Chief Executive Officer at Birla Sunlight AMC Limited. Srimati Telma Isaac, Achi Masala Group. Dr. Chandrakumar, Founder and Chairman, Covey Hospital. Padma Shri Sridhar Venu, Founder and CEO, Zoho Corporation.
Shri P. Ponnudurai, Founder and Chairman, Lion Days Impex Private Limited, were the predecessors of the award, best out, and graced the occasion with their eminent presence. This year, 10th Shri A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Award of Excellence will be presented to Shri N. Gopalaswamy, former Chief Election Commissioner of India. Now, School of Business feels immensely proud to present the award to the man who excelled in academics, civil service, and public administration as a top-notch I.A.S. officer from 1966 batch. He has excelled in various capacities as an administrator, judicial officer, commissioner, director and joint secretary of state and union, home secretary, advisor to planning commission, and many more. Shri N. Gopalaswamy is an astute chief election commissioner between 2006 to April 2009. It is a pride for all of us in honoring such a person who hailed from Nidamangalam from modesty to majestic being Chief Election Commissioner of Union of India. His contribution being the Chief Election Commissioner was highly noteworthy, which ensured transparency, accountability, and efficiency in the electoral system of India. He is a roadmap to the excellence to the millions of youth and empowerment through education as a key to succeed.
To shine a light on today's esteemed speaker, we now proceed with the introduction of our chief guest. Now, I call upon Mr. Nadar of Jurans to deliver the chief guest introduction.
Warm greetings everyone. It's my honor and privilege to present the profile of Honorable Justice Sri Cyril Thamrai Selvam. Sri Cyril Thamrai Selvam is a distinguished and highly respected legal professional known for his integrity, depth of legal knowledge, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Born on 9th February 1955 in Tanjavur, he comes from a lineage of eminent legal minds, grandson of Sir A.T. Panneerselvam, a barrister and statesman, and son of A.A. Selvam, a renowned criminal lawyer and former assistant public prosecutor at Madras High Court. A man of exceptional intellect, he pursued his education at Loyola College and Madras Law College, where he laid his foundation for an illustrious legal career. Starting his practice in 1982, he quickly earned a reputation for being meticulous, principled, and fearless in his legal approach. His early work under senior counsels, combined with his experience in legal departments of Karnataka Bank and Central Bank of India, enriched his understanding of both criminal and corporate law. Returning in independent practice in 1992, he went on to serve with distinction as Additional General Government Standing Counsel and Additional Public Prosecutor. His appointment as Additional Judge of Madras High Court on March 31, 2009 and his confirmation as Permanent Judge in 2011 stand as a testament to his legal acumen and unshakable dedication to justice. Beyond the courtroom, he is admired to his humility and grounded nature with interest in reading, music, and sports such as cricket, tennis, and football. His love for agriculture and deep affection for his ancestral village Selvapuram further reflect his balanced personality rooted in tradition yet progressive in thought. Sri Cyril Thamrai Selvam is not only a judge but a symbol of dignity, fairness, and excellence in the Indian legal fraternity. Happy to have you in our premises, sir. It's time to felicitate our chief guest. Now, I request Sri S.P. Selvaraj, Chairman of Jnanam School of Business, to felicitate our chief guest.
Thank you, sir. Words have power. They inspire, enlighten, and uplift. Let us listen with open hearts. It is an honor to invite Honorable Justice Sri Cyril Tamarai Selvam, former Judge Madras High Court, to deliver the 11th A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Memorial Lecture.
The dignitary of the day, Mr. N. Gopal Swami, Padma Bhushan, respected Mr. Selvaraj Chairman, Mr. Vishwanathan, Mr. Haruldas, other dignitaries of the race, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is my great privilege to be here, and yes, I am aware that it is customary to say that it gives one great pleasure to be at this function and that. But I must reiterate that this function indeed gives me great pleasure. It indeed gives me great pleasure in that Tanjavur was the town I was born, where I first went to school, the Sacred Heart Convent. Now the city, this is the place my grandfather, Rao Bahadur Sir A.T. Selvam, began his social and political life. Selvam Nagar in Tanjavur stands named after him. From being a member of the District Education Board, he went on to become the chairman of the district board. It was during his time, and indeed he was instrumental in bringing in Tamil education at the then Raja College, now Government College. The distinction was that before that only Sanskrit was taught in the college, and my grandfather, with the help of others, studied the trust deed and found that it informed education. So they raised the argument of education being not only Sanskrit, it would also include other languages. That is how Tamil medium of education came to be introduced in the Raja College, and that is how many a commoner came to receive college education. So, this was one of his very many stellar social causes and achievements. The late Parisutha Nadar, whose memory we celebrate today and whom we have heard of much through the audio presentation, and to which I don't have much to add, but would again inform you of a few of his facets, more that a thing twice read remains with us. He, as was already mentioned, was a member of the Legislative Assembly for three times. Not only were he and my grandfather, among others, shining lights of the erstwhile combined Tanjavur district, they shared one other thing in common. They were both alumni of St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli. Parisutha Nadar was one of the chief architects of the Tanjavur Medical College. He was a member of the Constituent Assembly that shaped India's constitution. He was part of the commission that was specially formed for the protection of minority rights under the Indian Constitution. A project to provide drinking water to Tanjavur from Kollidam was also completed during his tenure. He had a vision to provide industrial infrastructure and colleges of higher education. And this institute is a continuation of history. In fact, he wanted to develop industry and also contributed in no small measure to the setting up of bicycle manufacturing plant here. I can go on and on, but let me move on from one great personality to another, to one whom we have in our midst today. Our earlier Chief Election Commissioner of India, Padma Bhushan N. Gopal Swami. There is not much I can add to what is informed in the invitation, except that a mere reading thereof informs an exemplary career in life. I was saying earlier that both my grandfather and Parisutha Nadar were alumni of St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli. Our dignitary of the day also was an alumni of the same college. Now, being a Loyalite, one from Loyola in Chennai, and my father also having been a Loyalite, there is this, and both St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli and Loyola College, Chennai being fraternal institutions, we have this little fraternal rift going on from generation to generation. So that little tug of war between St. Joseph's College and Loyola College has been going on, will go on, and particularly is reflected in the volleyball matches, I would think. Our dignity of the day, also people given to frequent travel often get the feeling of having arrived home just a few kilometers before they really do. I get the very same feeling at Nedamangalam, where Sir was born. Nedamangalam, just a very short drive from my ancestral village Selvapuram, also had its socialistic seismic moments, but top of that must await another lecture. With these few words and many congratulations to one much elder in age and one who makes me wonder if I have the stature to hand over an award to, I move on to my lecture of the day. I have titled my lecture, not too originally, Coming Up Trumps. Many of you will know that the expression coming up trumps is used where we have to navigate through a difficult situation and eventually manage to win. I think it is appropriate because the focus of my lecture is going to be the American President's Liberation Day announcements of tariffs. What could be the follow-up thereof and how we are to deal with it. Let me start with a disclaimer. Though my basic degree before I did law was BCom, I really did not understand that as a student that it stood for Bachelor of Commerce. I was under the impression that it meant BCom, B-E-C-A-L-N. So therefore, should you find any errors in what I say, they would be forgivable. It might surprise many to know that tariffs are not new to the United States of America. In fact, the American Constitution makes provision therefore, and in the late 1890s and even up to 1920s, tariffs indeed had been imposed by America. It was thereafter, particularly after the Great Depression of 1929-1932, that America became the bastion of free trade. In fact, American President Donald Trump has spoken much of the tariff regime that existed in those days and how greatly America benefited therefrom. Those were the days of sailing ships and no airplanes. Today, the world is a much different place, and indeed, it is America that has gained the most from free trade politics. Ronald Reagan, before he became the American president in the 8-year term, was a very successful governor of the state of California, and before that, a movie star. In many movies, he had acted as a cowboy. In keeping with his wishes, when he died, a horse with his riding boots pointing backwards was on display. The riding boots pointing backwards, found across the saddle of a horse without a rider, was, in the old Wild West days, a message that the rider was not coming back. My advertence to old wild Western ways is not without cause. In our younger days, we played outdoors and not with thumbs on our laptops and cell phones. We did not have television and all that followed. So much of our time was spent reading. What better way could there be than fantasizing with a Western novel in hand, particularly a Louis Lama book? In the days of the Wild West, when America was in formation, if two men could not settle their differences, it would be the battle of the draw. Back to each other, they had to stand back to each other, walk 10 paces, turn around and shoot. He who drew his pistol fast and shot from the hip and straight won, the other died. A stranger would have to approach another with a white flag and hands held high and acclaim, "Hold your fire, I come in peace," or risk being shot dead. Is this the world the American president of today is taking us to? Yesterday we were given the information that the American president has held back his tariffs for some period. Today what he has done, I must confess to not knowing. When in 1987, Ronald Reagan imposed tariffs against Japanese Sony semiconductors, he went on air declaring that imposing tariffs and creating trade barriers was something he was loath to do. He hastened to add that he did not intend to start a trade war and that the tariffs imposed would be withdrawn at the earliest possible moment. He, unlike the American president of today, had a master's degree in economics. He believed, as do economists of the present day, that the prosperity of nations depended on the free trade between them. The way to ensure prosperity was to end protectionism and indulge in free and fair trade. He touched upon the historical reasons, going into the history of the Great Depression and how imposition of tariffs severely affected the economy and contributed in no small measure to difficulty in coming out of recession. He explained that at first it might appear that one imposing tariffs and restrictions on free trade was doing the patriotic thing by protecting national industry and jobs. He said that it would work for a short time, but only for a short time. He explained that the effect would be that homegrown industries would start relying on government protectionism and stop making the innovative technological changes that they ought to in order to succeed in world markets. Even as this was going on, the retaliatory acts of other countries in imposing tariffs would result in trade wars leading to higher and higher debt balances and lesser competition. This in turn would lead to artificially high prices and result in less consumer offtake. Industry would be brought to a grinding halt, resulting in loss of jobs and well-being. Restriction on free trade has very many severe adverse effects and the gains are negligible and short-term. It is for this precise reason that the Democratic contender as presidential candidate, Bernie Sanders, states that the present American president is shooting America in the foot. Some who find common ground with the actions of the present American president argue, and quite rightly, that it is China and its protectionist fetters, supported by its controlled structure of government, China's overproduction of goods flooding markets worldwide, that has led to the present order. Let us remember that American debt to China alone stands at $800 billion. We will leave America behind and move on to how we should deal with the issue. We are not without ways and means. We are a country which at a point of time held 25% of the world's trade. Let us do the maths here. America contributes something like 13 to 15, some say even 20 plus percentage of the world's trade. Be that as it may, of Indian exports, the percentage to America is 18. This is in 2023. We find that the European Union is getting into retaliatory tariffs, as are many of the developed countries. Measures that are bound to be counterproductive and which will lead to a spiral of tariffs being met by tariffs and further tariffs being met by further tariffs, eventually leading to the collapse of the world economy. We already are seeing the reflection in the world stock markets as also our own. We saw the stock markets tumbling the moment Trump makes President Trump, with respect, President Trump makes an announcement that he is withholding tariffs, immediately the market bounces back, and the next announcement he makes, it will again cause repeats. Our way forward should be following the path shown by our earlier Finance Minister Yashwant Sinha in 1990. He had announced that tariffs would be reduced by 5% from year to year. This helped industry to determine how to go about their business over the long term. That is the sort of vision we now need. It is not as though without trade with the USA, we would be at sea. We must also remember that at the end of the day, America is just 200 years old. It was discovered just about 200 years before. The world has gone on with trade and finance and well-being before America came into being, and it will continue to do so despite. While we should be pushing for reduction of tariffs by America, we should be reducing our own tariffs, which are notoriously high. And even by looking for business in the US of A, we should be exploring the other markets for our goods. It is not that there are no such markets. The correct way to go would be to produce that which we can do at low cost and import that which we cannot. We have a great demographic advantage. We have the greatest youthful workforce in the world. So now we too have started to age, and that's where the students of the day have to take over. We have the capacities, both physical and mental. We are capable of carrying forward technological advances and finding our way out of what we should simply consider glitches on our path rather than great barriers. I think we should take a leaf out of the Singapore book. This is what its premier had to say, that the free trade championed by America, with the World Trade Organization providing the balance, though not perfect, led to stability over several decades. We are now in the teeth of retaliatory steps taken by other countries in a very dangerous situation. It is to be recalled that such a situation led to the Second World War. Even while informing the trading countries like his, that is Singapore, were at the greatest risk, he said that while countries might be tempted to act in their own selfish interests, Singapore would not so respond. Singapore would not so respond. They will not respond with retaliatory tariffs. Rather, they would work with like-minded countries in putting in place a new order. In effect, what he was saying was that we should not be looking at a world of winners and losers, but working at a win-win solution for all towards the betterment of mankind. India, our country, with its centuries of culture, civilization and trade, could lead the way. It is now widely acknowledged that the Chinese economy is facing a downturn. Even at the turn of the century, it was thought that this century would be India's century. We are yet to seize the opportunity, but in the hands of young minds like you, the students of this school, I am sure this country will. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for your valuable ways and means to prevent economic collapse. That was optimistic survey. We now present a citation for the 10th A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar awardee for followed by the award presentation. Now I call upon Ms. Vishnu Priya of Jurons to introduce the award.
Warm greetings, everyone. It is our great pride and immense honor to welcome Sri N. Gopalaswamy, a distinguished civil servant and eminent scholar, as our chief guest today. A man whose name is synonymous with integrity, vision, and dedication to public service. Sri N. Gopalaswamy's illustrious career spans over 5 decades and stands as a shining example of selfless service to the nation. Born in Nedamangalam, in culturally rich Tanjore district and raised in Manarpuli, Sri N. Gopalaswamy began his academic journey with exceptional promise. He was graduated from the prestigious St. Joseph College, Tiruchirappalli, and went on to complete his post-graduation in chemistry from Delhi University, securing a gold medal for academic excellence. His passion for knowledge and service helped him to join the Indian Administrative Service in 1966, where he was allotted to the Gujarat cadre. During his 25 years of service in Gujarat, he held a variety of influential positions across departments such as Education, Revenue, Gujarat Electricity Board, eventually rising to become the Managing Director of Gujarat Communication and Electronics. His deep understanding of governance and developmental planning in 1982 further enriching his impressive repertoire. Sri N. Gopalaswamy's service to the Government of India began in 1992 and he took multiple crucial roles, includes software development decision in the Department of Electronics, Education, Culture and Sports in the Planning Commission. His deep sensitivity to the societal issues was reflected in his tenure as Secretary General of the National Human Rights Commission and later as Secretary in the Ministry of Culture, notably a Union Home Secretary. His leadership was marked by a clear administration and strategic vision. In 2004, he was appointed as an election commissioner and in 2006 as a Chief Election Commissioner of India, one of the most respected constitutional positions in the country. Under his guidance, the Election Commission implemented landmark reforms to enhance the credibility and transparency of the electoral process. The introduction of photo electoral rolls and the application of age coherent analysis that have left a lasting impact on Indian democracy. His commitment to the cultural preservation is equally commendable. As Secretary, Ministry of Culture, Sri N. Gopalaswamy successfully facilitated the inclusion of sites such as Dharasuram and Gangaikonda temples in Tamil Nadu, the Champu Fort of Complex, Gujarat, and the prehistoric site of Bimket, Madhya Pradesh into the UNESCO World Heritage List. He was also instrumental in having Vedic chanting recognized as part of the world's oral heritage by UNESCO, an achievement that reflects his reverence for Indians' ancient tradition. Recognizing his vast contributions, the Government of India honored him with Padma Bhushan in 2015, one of the nation's highest civilian honors. On the same year, he chaired the committee responsible for drafting a visionary roadmap for Sanskrit education, further demonstrating his enduring commitment to the Indian heritage and learning. From 2014 to 2019, he served as the chairman of the esteemed Kalasheshwara Foundation in Chennai, an institution founded by the legendary Srimati Rukmini Devi Arundel. His endured help uphold and further the vision of promoting classical Indian arts. In 2018, he was appointed to the head Empowered Expert Committee tasked with identifying and mentoring 20 institutions with the potential to become world-class centers of learning. Currently, Sri N. Gopalaswamy continues his lifelong service to the education and culture. He is the president of the Vivekananda Educational Society, which oversees 25 schools in and around Chennai, and also serves as the Chancellor of National Sanskrit University, Tirupati. Additionally, he heads the executive committee of the Madras Sanskrit College. An erudite scholar and a polyglot, he is fluent in Tamil, Hindi, Gujarat, Sanskrit and English. His life is an inspiring blend of intellect, discipline, humility and an unwavering dedication to public welfare. As we gather here today, we are truly honored to have such a touring personality among us. Sri N. Gopalaswamy's presence is not only mark of distinction for this occasion but also a beacon of inspiration for all of us who aspire to serve with purpose and excellence. We, Jnanam School of Business, feel highly honored to confer this prestigious 10th A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Award on you, sir.
True greatness lies in service and humanity. Today we are in the presence of both. Now may I request Honorable Justice Sri Cyril Tamarai Selvam to confer the prestigious 10th A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Award to Padma Bhushan Sri N. Gopalaswamy, IAS retired, former Chief Election Commissioner of India.
That is not doing enough honor. I insist on doing the full honor.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite our respected awardee, Sri N. Gopalaswamy, IAS retired, former Chief Election Commissioner of India, to deliver his acceptance speech.
எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். மேடையில் வீற்றிருக்கும் திரு ஜஸ்டிஸ் செல்வம் அவர்களே, திரு எஸ்பி செல்வராஜ், சேர்மன் டிஎஸ்பி, Ambassador Sri Vishwanath, Sri Arul Das, dignitaries of the A.Y.S, students, friends. இன்றைக்கு ஒரு வித்தியாசமான நாள் இருக்கு. குஜராத்தியில் ஒரு சின்ன பழமொழி, जमन मोसाड़े पीसने वाली माँ. அம்மாவோட சைடு வீட்டில் சாப்பாடு அம்மாவை பரிமாறுறாங்கன்னா எவ்வளவு அன்போடும் ஆதரத்தோடும் அவர்கள் பரிமாறுவார்கள். அது ஒரு ஸ்டெப் ஹையர் அப்படிங்கிறது ஒரு பழம். அதே போல் இந்த ஜில்லாவை சேர்ந்த எனக்கு ஒரு மதிப்பு கொடுத்து இந்த ஞானம் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் அவர்கள், அதுவும் இந்த ஜில்லாவை சேர்ந்த ஒரு பெரிய ஜஸ்டிஸ் அவர்கள் கையால், இந்த ஜில்லாவை சேர்ந்த ஒரு அம்பாசிடர் அவருடைய அவர்கள் இருக்கும்போது இது கொடுக்கும்போது எனக்கு ஒரு பெருமையாக இருக்கிறது. ஹிந்தியில் பழமொழி உண்டு. கர்க்கி முர்கி தால் பராபர். வீட்டில் நன்னா சமைச்சு போட்டாலும் பக்கத்து வீடு சாப்பாடு நல்லாருன்னு சொல்கிறவங்க நிறைய பேர் இருப்பாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி சொந்த வீட்டில் இருக்கிறவங்கள மதிக்கிறது குறைச்சல். அப்படி இருக்க சந்தர்ப்பத்தில் இந்த ஜில்லாவை சேர்ந்த என்ன, இந்த ஜில்லாவை சேர்ந்தவங்க மதிக்கிறாங்க, ஒரு மதிப்பு கொடுக்குறாங்கன்னா அது இன்னும் எனக்கு பெருமையை சேர்க்குது. என்னுடைய நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் இதில் A.Y.S பரிசுத்த நாடார் அவரை பற்றி சில வார்த்தைகள் முன்னாடி சொன்னாங்க. நான் எப்படி அதை பார்க்குறேன்னா, ஒரு பப்ளிக் சர்வெண்ட் எந்த மாதிரி இருக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறது ஒரு உதாரணமாக அவர் திறந்தார். ரியல் பப்ளிக் சர்வீஸுங்கிறது சர்வீஸ் டு த பப்ளிக், நாட் டு யுவர் செல்ஃப். அப்படி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா திரு பரிசுத்த நாடார் அவர்கள் செய்த காரியங்கள் மிகப்பெரியவன். கான்ஸ்டியூஷன் அசம்பிளியில் இருந்ததும் சரி, 3 முறை எம்எல்ஏவாக இருந்தது. அதற்கு மேற்பட்டு தஞ்சாவூருக்காக ஒரு மெடிக்கல் காலேஜ், ஒரு ராஜா சர்போஜி காலேஜ், இந்த மாதிரி கல்விக்கும் மக்களுடைய சேவைக்கும் தன்னுடைய சொத்துக்களை கொடுத்தது மாத்திரம் அல்ல, தன்னுடைய சமயத்தையும் பொருட்படுத்தாமல் செலவழித்து இந்த ஊருக்கும் தான் பிறந்த மண்ணுக்கு மாத்திரமல்ல, எந்த இடத்துலேருந்து எலெக்ட் ஆகி போயிருக்கிறாரோ அந்த இடத்துக்கு ஒரு நற்காரியம் செய்யணுங்கிறது இப்போ இந்த காலத்தை கொஞ்சம் அரிதாகவே போயிட்டு இருக்கு. நான் பார்த்துருக்கேன், ஒரு 50-70 வருஷமாக பார்க்குறேன். 1966லேருந்து கிட்டத்தட்ட 60-65 வருஷம் பார்த்துருக்குறேன். ஒருத்தரோட இங்கே பேசியிருந்தேன். அப்போ சில விஷயங்கள்லாம் சொன்னேன், ஆச்சரியமான விஷயங்கள் அதெல்லாம். அப்புறம் சமயம் கிடைக்கும்போது சொல்கிறேன். ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு உயர்ந்த மனிதர் அவர் பேரில் இருக்கிற இந்த இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் நிஜமாக உங்களெல்லாம் ஒரு உயர்ந்த திங்கிங், ஹை திங்கிங் அழைத்து செல்லுங்கிறது எனக்கு கண்டிப்பாக நம்பிக்கை இருக்குது. இந்த இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷனை படித்து வெளியில் வந்து நீங்கள் சேவை செய்யும் போது உங்களுக்காக மட்டுமல்ல, இந்த சமூகத்துக்கு, நீங்கள் நல்ல சமூகத்திற்கும் சரி நாட்டுக்கும் சரி ஒரு நல்ல சேவை செய்வீர்கள் என்பது என்னுடைய மனதில் ஆழ்ந்த வேரூன்றி இருக்கிற நம்பிக்கை. பரிசுத்த நாடாரை பற்றி இன்னொரு வார்த்தையை சொல்லணும். அறம் பொருள் இன்பம் என்று வள்ளுவர் வழிபடுத்துகிறார். ஒரு அறத்தின் மூலமாக வந்த பொருள், அந்த பொருளை வந்து சமூகத்திற்காக செலவழித்தது வள்ளுவர் இந்த வழி காட்டியிருக்காரோ அதன் வழி நடந்திருக்கார் என்பதற்கு ஒரு அத்தாட்சி. இப்போ சில வார்த்தைகள் வந்து என்னுடைய வாழ்க்கையில் நடந்த சில சம்பவங்கள், அதுலேருந்து சில விஷயங்கள் உங்களுக்கு உபயோகமாக இருக்குன்ற நம்பிக்கையை சொல்கிறேன். என்னை பற்றி சொல்றதுக்காக என்று நினைக்க வேண்டாம். Generally, it is told to everybody saying that you have to come up by your own effort. You don't depend upon anybody else or things like that. But honestly speaking, no man, no human being is an island. When part of the society, he is surrounded by the other members of society. And it is inevitable that during the course of your journey, life journey, you get assisted directly, indirectly by other human beings. When I say directly or indirectly, it need not be in terms of any money or anything. By mere example, by their life. So you definitely get influenced by the kind of life which are lived by other people, those surrounding you or those closer to you, those of your relatives. At many point of time when you interact, you should be open-minded to receive that lesson, receive that idea and implement it in your life. That way, I was very lucky in having a grandfather who never ever asked me to read the school book, never. But at one point of time he cautioned me when I was in the 9th class, saying that when you go to the college, you will be shifting medium of instruction from Tamil to English. So in order to cope with it, you must prepare yourself now. So what did it mean? It meant that every day I have to read one page of the Hindu before him. So that was the discipline he instilled. One other discipline is, whatever happens, at 6:30 in the evening you should be home. Say your prayers and do whatever you like afterwards, excepting that one command that you must read one page of the Hindu before him in the evening. Then we had some extraordinary school teachers. I had a Tamil teacher who for the first 20 minutes of the 40 minutes class never will teach anything from the book. He will teach things which are not in the book. That opens up your mind to the rich Tamil literature legacy. So it makes you think that you must go beyond what is there in the class textbook and read up, at least make a note of what is available outside which you are missing in the class text. So he opened up our view, our eyes to the rich Tamil literature legacy. Then when I went to the college, I was very lucky to be in a hostel, the warden of which was Father Erhardt. He was a very well-known figure, a towering personality. Very few of his kind were available to give the proper advice, whether to the student or to the academic world. I remember, Mr. Chandra Kumar, who was a recipient here. He was the Kaveri hospital, head. He made one very interesting remark during his reply to the award which was given here. I think he got the eighth award was given to him. He said how he struggled from coming from school to college because he spent almost 6-8 months trying to adjust from Tamil medium to English medium. Father Erhardt was credited with having fought in the Senate, Madras University Senate, against the introduction of pre-university. You people may not know, the system used to be 11 classes in the school, 1 pre-university, and then 3 years of degree, which is now changed to 10, 2, and 3. And now again changed to 10, 2, and 4. His simple point was that he told the powers that be that in his college, 95% of the students come from Tamil medium. They take anything up to 6 months to get adjusted to the English medium, while 1 year pre-university course means that they will hardly be adjusting to the English medium when they will have to sit down for the university examination. He said, please don't introduce this, because many students who are good in their studies but unable to cope with English will be failing in English, not in the subjects. I have seen many students, their 1 year spoiled because they failed in English as a subject but had very good marks in their subjects, like mathematics, physics, chemistry, very good marks, but in English failed because they failed to cope with the English medium change. Then, when I moved to Delhi for post-graduation, like many friends who were applying for foreign universities, I also at the end of the 2 years wanted to apply to go to some foreign universities and therefore made my applications ready. Now, there is a mandatory requirement that I have to take the approval or recommendation from the head of my department, and that is Professor T.R. Seshadri from Kulittalai near Trichy. He was a Gandhian and used to wear Kadar and Kali Topi also. When I went to him, he said, keep the application here, come tomorrow morning. When I went in the next morning to meet him, the one question he asked me, what is wrong with this country that you want to leave this country and go away? Honestly, I didn't have an answer. So I decided that I will stay in this country. Went and filled in the application for A.Y.S. and got through. So if anybody changed my life by one sentence, what is wrong with this country was Professor T.S. Seshadri. So over the years, you learn from people around you who may admonish you, who may advise you, who may silently give you the direction. Then came my first collector when I went to Gujarat as the for training, Mr. P.P. Rathod, Pratap Singh P. Rathod. Now he was a model of integrity. To such an extent that when he travels in the district for inspections, etc., he will carry the provisions, his provisions for his food in a box. Wherever he stays, he will get it cooked by a local cook and eat it. He was one person who was responsible for my picking up Gujarati much faster than anybody else. When I go with him on tour, first thing in the morning over a cup of tea, we will read the local newspapers. He will ask me to read it, explain difficult words, explain words which are peculiar to a particular district or particular area. That way I picked up Gujarati much faster than anybody else. In fact, within 2 or 3 years, I was not only able to speak, read, write, dictate. That took many people by surprise. Then some experiences I had in Gujarat which stayed with me forever. I must recall some of them because it's part of my life. I had a minister for revenue who was my boss, and he was the final authority in deciding transfers and postings of deputy collectors, sub-collectors, etc., and I used to submit tahsildars and so on. On one instance, I submitted a file, he approved all the proposals, then added one line below saying that so and so may be posted at so and so place. Now I could have just carried on with his orders, but I felt there was a case of injustice in what he was trying for, the order which if I carried out, there will be a case of injustice number. So I went and met him next morning and said, I want to represent against your decision. He said, what? I said, if I implement this decision, it will be causing injustice to a particular officer. He said, why? I said, you have said that so and so should be posted at so and so place, fine. But 3 months ago, you approved for a posting to that place somebody, and that fellow has come and taken over, he has just brought his family, he has just got children admitted. And now, 3 months later, you say somebody else, he must be replaced and somebody else will be brought. Won't it be a case of injustice against that particular person? What sin has he committed that he should be evicted within 3 months? Inconveniencing him more than him, his family and children. I still was fearing what kind of reaction he will do. But bless his soul, he took the file from me, scored out what he had written, gave back the file. Which meant that he withdrew his orders merely on the ground that it will cause injustice to somebody. Then we had I will not go into many such instances, one more instance I would like to recall. We had a chief minister called Babubhai Patel, who hailed from the district in which I was collector, and he was elected in that particular year, 1975, and became a chief minister. Normally you would have read in the newspapers elsewhere that when the chief minister comes, then the collector, the SP, and everybody goes around with him. So this person became a chief minister, then he came to the district once, twice, but I was never informed. So I didn't go also. So in fact, the SP asked me saying that, Gopal Swami, why is it that you are not coming? I said, I have not been informed, why should I come? The third time, he came to a village which was very close to the district headquarters, but I had an invitation from the Sarpanch of that village, whom I knew very well. So I went. As the chief minister's car came next to me, it stopped. Chief minister asked me to get into the car. I got in. The first question he asked me was, Mr. Gopal Swami, I hope my office has not asked you to come and remain present here. I said, no. It is not your office. You came twice before, your office didn't tell me, I never came. But this time I had an invitation from the Sarpanch, that's why I came. And the man surprised me by telling me, saying that we have just taken a decision in our cabinet yesterday that officers' times are also precious. Officers should not be disturbed unless the minister or the chief minister has a specific work with that officer. So hereafter, a circular will come that officers need not attend unless requested by the minister. Then came the crowning glory. The next week, 2 weeks after that, he again came to district. And the wireless message was marked to me. The last line in that was, the collector need not attend. So such were the political bosses at that time. If I ask Mr. Pannichellan or his people, they will tell me stories about how Kamaraj, Kakkan, others behaved. I don't want to make any comparisons, but the times have changed, the world has changed. Okay. So it is that background which was my legacy, my wealth, which brought me up in life. But a few issues in which I thought, when you go out into the world, into the business, into the advisory roles or managerial roles, there are few things which are immutable. They are true for all times and all life to come. And that I thought I must share it with you, and which is very close to my heart and which I think will help everybody perform his duty, his or her duties well in life. Always spend 5 minutes before you go to sleep on a particular day as to what you have done that day and what is to be planned for the next day. Write down the few points which you need to attend invariably for the next day or the days, a couple of days from that. Keeping a diary of important events in your life. It will tell you what happened, not only will tell you what happened. In the process, you will also, as you mature, you may also find shortcomings in your behavior or mistakes which you have made, so as to be able to correct it in the future. Always remember that integrity of thought and action always goes together. You can't preach integrity to your subordinates, the person who reports to you, but you behave without that integrity. So if integrity in thought is not followed by integrity in action, then you will be found out very easily. You know, every time, every day you must remember that just as you observe other people are observing you. Nothing escapes them. So they will easily find out somebody who says something and does something else. So ever always remember, integrity of thought and action always go together. Innovation. Innovation is a big word, but it's not a very difficult action. Every time you attend to a problem, never look at that problem alone. Never get satisfied that you have solved a problem. If you can extrapolate it and see the bigger picture, you attended a problem, you must start thinking, why did this problem arise in the first instance? Will it get repeated? Then only you will be able to see the bigger picture and devise a methodology to overcome problems of this particular kind. So never be satisfied with solving a problem. See the bigger picture and devise something which solves the problems, not for once but forever. Nurturing relations is very important. When I say relations, it's not only your blood relations, but your relations in your office. One can be firm and polite. The harshest of things can be said in the most polite way also. So if you remember that you are the master of the unspoken word and you are the slave of the spoken word. Once words stumble out of your mouth, you can't take it back. So when you speak to somebody, weigh your words. You can convey your criticism, even the harshness of it, but in the most acceptable, polite way, that the person concerned takes the advice and not the harsh words. In future, he will remember the advice not, if you had said any harsh words, the harsh word will remain in his mind, not the advice which you gave. Mens sana in corpore sano is a Latin proverb which says that a healthy mind in a healthy body. Always remember to do your exercise every day, whatever, whether it's yoga, whether it's walking, whether swimming, or whichever is your liking. But always keep your fitness. That fitness will reflect on the state of your mind. Physical health is as important as the mental health, and the mental health can be influenced by physical health. Develop wider interest in life, not get narrowed down to your particular problem, your particular industry, particular day of work. No. You should be able to read wider. Every day, spend some time reading things outside your work so that your vision gets enlarged. You're prepared to understand what the world around is doing. And today, our chief guest gave an excellent rendition of the state of the tariff war, how India can meet it, what lessons we should take in all that. I mean, I'm quite sure many of you will benefit by it. But this is what the whole thing is about. I mean, you must go beyond your daily work to read up something, to know something. And in that connection, I'm not at all surprised about Justice Selvam, whatever he said, because I had the opportunity of serving under two eminent Chief Justices of India, Justice Venkatachalaya and Justice Verma. And my esteem for judges, those who deliver day in and day out judgments, went up enormously when I served under them. But for that, I would have missed out much in my life. And I'm not at all surprised that Justice Selvam today gave a resounding background to the entire tariff war and what should be done, what should not be done. Thank you, Justice Selvam. develop a hobby. Anyhow, I mean anything which you feel beyond your management, finance, etc. Beyond that. I must recall here very interesting thing. BBC used to run quizzes. Anybody can participate in the quiz, provided he is able to justify his inclusion by his knowledge. I one day found a taxi driver. Normally we don't give much, don't think much of taxi drivers. Here was a taxi driver who appeared in the BBC television quiz program. His selected topic was European history, and my God, he had thoroughly studied. So, by profession, he was a taxi driver. By choice, he was a student of history. So, develop some interest outside your regular academic pursuit or your work pursuit. So that two things will happen. One, you understand what is going on in some other subject. One. Secondly, it takes you off your pressures for some time to freshen up your mind, and with that you can come back and do better in your work. When it comes to passion in life, take up something as a passionate, whether it's environment, whatever the subject you like. So here I would like to quote two instances of how two very passionate people did something extraordinary. The first is Lily Thomas. Before that, I must preface it by saying that Parliament amends the Constitution or laws. But it may come as a surprise to you if I mention that many far-reaching changes in the conduct of elections actually came from the Supreme Court of India, not from the Parliament of India. Some other day I will expand to you. Today I just stop saying that many changes, many important changes, many far-reaching changes were made by the Supreme Court of India by its judgments in the election law by the Supreme Court of India rather than by our elected representatives. In that context, I am telling you about the passion with which Lily Thomas pursued her case. She filed the case first in 2002. The Supreme Court disagreed with it, threw it out. She filed it again in 2007. Again, she met with refusal. She filed it again, modified it, filed it again in 2009. In 2013, she succeeded. Many of you might have heard that an important change was made by the Supreme Court judgment in 2013. Justice Sadasivam was the author of this judgment. You know that many of our MLAs and MPs have criminal cases against them. And the law at that time was that if there is a criminal case and he is convicted, and if that person appeals to the appellate court, until the appeal is decided, the person will continue as member of parliament or member of legislature. Lily Thomas argued against that particular provision. By its judgment in 2013, Justice Sadasivan's judgment, Supreme Court accepted the argument and said, notwithstanding the appeal, if a person is convicted, he will lose his membership of the Legislative Assembly or the Parliament. On a very simple argument. Very simple. The most simple is the most difficult to operate. The simple argument was law recognized only two sets of people: convicted, not convicted. There is no third category: convicted yet eligible. If you are convicted, you are not eligible to be a member of the parliament, you are not, or the voter. If you are not convicted, then you are nothing prevents you. There is no third category that convicted and yet you can be continued. That's a simple argument on which Lily Thomas convinced the Supreme Court to accept her plea, and the Supreme Court decided in favor. Mind you, at that time she was all of 87 years of age. 87. She pursued it for almost 15 years, this case, and you can understand the passion with which she wanted to do something right, that the legislatures and the parliament should not have convicted criminals as members. The second is another person about whom I will say a few words, but before that let me ask a question. How many of you have heard of Timmaka? Anybody? Does the name Timmaka raise any? Okay, let me tell you. Timmaka was from a village in Karnataka. What did she do? She and her husband planted 384 banyan trees between her village and the main road over a period of 5 years. Not only they planted, they watered it. They used to take pails of water from their village and go and water this. So for a distance of 2.5 kilometers, which is barren, where people have to go to the main road to catch a bus or to travel, Timmaka and her husband planted trees so that the villagers will have a shade, will not have to suffer severe heat. And she was past 100 when she was recognized. She was given a Padma Bhushan, I think, in 2009, Padma Shri in 2009 or so. And she lived up to 114 or 115 years. No, if she had not planted trees, nobody would have questioned her, nobody would have blamed her. But she had that passion, that whatever little I can do for the public, I must do. The third and final case is Daulat Ram, I think is the first one. Daulat Ram Manji. Has anybody heard of his name? Okay. Here, again, a very unique case. He was a resident of a village near Gaya in Bihar. And I'm sorry I'm taking a little more time, but I'll finish quickly. Dasarath Manji was called the mountain man. You know why? His wife fell ill and she had to be shifted to the hospital, but the hospital was 55 kilometers away because they had to go around a hill. Manji found that if the hillock, which is separating the taluka headquarters and his village, if it is cut through and a road is made, it will be just about 15 kilometers instead of 55 kilometers, and one can go much faster. So he told the villagers, saying that let's all join hands and cut the hillock. For some time, some people joined, and after that they all called, "You are a mad fellow. How can you ever cut the hillock and make a road? So we are not going to be part of your mad venture." But Manji did not give up. Manji decided to carve a 110 meter long, 360 feet long, 9 meter wide, 30 feet wide, 7 meter deep path through a ridge of hills using only a hammer and a chisel. After 22 years of work, he succeeded in creating a road which connected his village to the forest. That was Dasharat Manji from Bihar. I am quite sure many of you need not get into such difficult work, but each one of you has the potential to contribute to the society to the best of your ability. And all I appeal to you, young people, is never ever think that you cannot do a small or big service to society. That is what will make you an important person in your own mind. You know, the satisfaction Dasharat Manji got after 22 years of life spent in chiseling away a rock is something which nobody else can, in his mind. So that pleasure will come to you if you dedicate yourself even a little bit of your time for public service. I wish you all a very happy, a very prosperous future, and I'm quite sure this institution would have given you such training that you would all shine forth in life for yourself, your family, and the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for taking us through a thoughtful journey filled with wisdom and clarity, which would guide us in both personal and professional way.
Now I call upon Miss Ritika of Jurans to introduce of our esteemed guest Sri R. Vishwanathan, former Indian Ambassador.
Warm greetings to everyone. We are honored to welcome former Ambassador R. Vishwanathan, a distinguished diplomat and expert on Latin America. Born in a small village in Tamil Nadu, he overcame many hardships. Studying by kerosene lamp, walking kilometers to school, and working in the fields, before earning his MSc in chemistry and joining the Indian Foreign Service. He served with distinction in countries including Venezuela, Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay, and also held key positions in the Ministry of External Affairs, including head of the Latin America division. Ambassador Vishwanathan has authored several important books and market guides on Latin America and has been a pioneer in promoting India-Latin America relations. Even after retirement, he continues to advise Indian companies, write extensively, and travel across Latin America. A passionate golfer, skier, and cyclist, he also finds time for reading, bridge, and music. His life is a remarkable journey from a modest village to the global stage, and we are privileged to have him with us today.
Now I request Dr. S.P.S. Aruldas, CEO, Nyanam School of Business, to felicitate our chief guest.
Thank you, sir. We are honored to have Sri R. Vishwanathan, former Indian Ambassador, with us. May I invite Sri R. Vishwanathan to speak a few words about the awardee.
Good morning to everyone. I joined the Nyanam Business School and all of you in felicitating Mr. Gopalaswamy. His journey from Nedamangalam to Nirwatsan Southern in Delhi is impressive and inspiring. He became the Chief Election Commissioner, one of the highest constitutional positions in any democracy. That is not an easy job. As Chief Election Commissioner, he was the guardian of the largest democracy in the world. It is one of the toughest, most challenging and most sensitive jobs. Conducting free and fair, credible elections with an electorate of billion people, a billion voters of diverse languages, religions and communities. It is an extraordinary challenge. And even more challenging is to deal with all the politicians. Some of them are very colorful. That's even more challenging. Now, people like Mr. Gopalaswamy has overcome these challenges and has made the election process in India and the democracy in India as a shining example to the rest of the world. Today, India is a role model for conducting elections even to the United States. Justice Selvam was talking about Trump. Even Trump is envious and admires the way Indian elections are conducted so competently, so efficiently, and without any controversies. So we salute you, sir. You are a source of inspiration for these young MBA students. Now, let me add for the MBA students another source of inspiration from one among you, someone called Raghavan from the 2024 batch, Prahlad's batch. This guy passed in 2024. He is now posted in a country called Guatemala in Latin America. You heard of that? A remote country in Central America. He was selected by a company called Capling Point last August, and they sent him off to Guatemala. I was a bit concerned. So a new guy coming from Devakote, how he is going to survive in a different culture, different society, and different system. But in these 8 months, he has settled so well, adjusted himself so well. I keep talking to him, chatting with him on WhatsApp. He has learned Spanish so fluently. Now he deals with the importers, distributors, and pharmaceutical dealers for this company called Capling Point. So competent, and he is getting promotion. He is part of a small management team which runs an annual business. Last year it was $200 million, 1,700 crores of business, exports from India to Guatemala and to Latin America. He is so excited, thrilled, so confident, so optimistic. He says he wants to stay on for more time in Latin America and grow with this business. Then I asked him, "Oh, young man, is there anything happening in your personal life?" He said, "No, sir, not yet, because of the advice from Dr. Arul Das." Because Mr. Arul Das told him, whatever you do, do it with your full heart. He said, I have many girlfriends, but it is not 100% full yet. Now, love is the secret behind the success of this company called Kathleen Point. I met the owner of this Kathleen Point pharmaceutical company in 1998 when I was posted in Sao Paulo, Brazil. It's a small company, they had about 20 crores of business. He was trying to export to Latin America. I met him in Sao Paulo and he asked me for my advice. I told him, don't come to Brazil, don't go to Mexico. These are very large, sophisticated markets where they deal only with the big players. For a small company like you, it is better you go to smaller geographies. You go to small countries where the others are not coming. So he asked which advice is to go. I said, go to Central America. Not many Indians have gone there. And then I told him, you don't go. You are a bit old. So you send your young son like you. He was 24 years old at that time. Send him because he would adjust and adapt himself fast like this Raghavan did. Then he asked me, sir, what are the risks? I said, the biggest risk of doing business with Latin America and visiting Latin America is falling in love. And his eldest son, Ashok Parthiban, who was there, he said, sir, I will take the risk. I am prepared. So he sent his son Ashok Parthiban to Guatemala when he was 24. Now this Ashok Parthiban, the first thing he did after reaching Guatemala, he fell in love with a Guatemalan girl, married her, settled, and he has become an almost Latin American. He knows the Latin American business culture, system so well. And he is the one who is driving this business of $200 million. He gets the orders from Guatemala, Central America, and the rest of Latin America. And only after the advance payment comes, and the factories in Pondicherry and Gumidi-Pundi in Chennai, they start production. It's a cash-rich company doing extremely well, 25% growth every year. So, I would like to encourage more people from this audience to follow the example of Raghavan and take the risk of doing business with Latin America. Now, this Guatemala, where this guy is located, you might think that it's a small country of 17 million people. But last year, India exported $616 million, which is more than our exports to Cambodia or Kazakhstan nearby. So our business with Latin America is booming. With a disruptor like Trump, it is going to boom even more. We exported last year about $20 billion to Latin America, to the 19 countries. I also give consultancy services and business advice to companies. Apart from Kathleen Point, I advise a company called Kalpataru Projects International Limited. It was earlier known as Kalpataru Power Transmission. Now, this company has got $1 billion, 8,000 crores of contracts across Latin America. In Chile, Brazil, Colombia, Guyana, Suriname, Dominic. And they have in Chile one single contract of $430 million. This is the single largest contract got by any company in Latin America. And this is the largest single contract this company got ever in their existence. Even in India, they didn't get such a big contract. So, my dear friends, there is money, there is business, and love. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for is felicitating the awardee as well as throwing light on the opportunities in Latin America. That was the motivating address. Thank you, sir.
Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Now I call upon Dr. S.P.S. Aruldas, CEO of Jnanam School of Business, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all dignitaries whose honor of the dais. As we draw to an inspiring close to the 11th A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Centenary Memorial Lecture and Award Ceremony, I would like to propose the vote of thanks. This day has been a powerful confluence of learning, legacy, and luminous thought. We have been witnessing to insights, challenges from the intellectuals, and honor that humbles the heart, and values that uplift the soul. Every element of today's program has added meaning to our collective journey as an institution committed to excellence and ethics. First and foremost, I express our deepest gratitude to Honorable Justice Sri Cyril Tamarai Selvam, former judge of Madras High Court. Sir, your memorial lecture was not just an address, it was an inspiration. You brought clarity to global business and you reminded us of the power of principled leadership and judicial integrity. Your words infused both legal acumen and human insights. It will remain etched in our minds, and thank you for honoring us with your presence, for delivering such a powerful tribute to the ideals of Sri A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar. We also take this opportunity and congratulate you on being conferred with the senior advocate status by the Supreme Court on the 1st April 2025. He has been one among the 5 judges of this country who have been conferred with the senior advocate status on the 1st of April in this year 2025. We are equally privileged to have conferred the 10th A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Memorial Award for Excellence to Padma Bhushan Shri N. Gopalaswamy I.A.S. from the Chief Election Commissioner of India. Sir, your exemplary contributions to public life, especially your unwavering commitment to create a fair electoral process and clean governance, have made you a symbol of public integrity in public service. Your acceptance of this award with such grace and humility enhances every value and meaning of this honor. We are deeply grateful for your presence, sir. My sincere thanks to our well-wisher and Ambassador to Latin America, former Indian Ambassador to Latin America, Sri Vishwanathan, sir. Sir studied and you are not mentioned in the introduction, sir did his high school at Mariamman Koil Government High School and he completed his graduation at ABBM Pundi Pushpam College. Example to all the people here, sir, and many people, and it was you who introduced us to the company called as Kaplan Point, and today many students are getting benefited. Even this year, we are having 2 of the students who will be traveling to the Latin America this year. Thank you so much, sir. To our respected management and leadership at GSB, we thank you for the vision and unshakable support in nurturing spaces where ideas, values and ethics are celebrated. You have made it possible for this event to transcend mere formalities and become a living embodiment in the ideals we stand for. I thank all our faculty members who deserve special appreciation. Your tireless efforts in mentioning our students and leading by example contribute immensely to the academic and ethical foundation of GSB. You are the torchbearers who translate institutional values into everyday actions. To our ever vibrant students, thank you for participating with such maturity, openness and genuine enthusiasm. Events like this are designed for your growth, to help you dream beyond textbooks and to see the world through the lens of real-world leadership and purpose. To our distinguished guests, well-wishers and alumni who joined us from near and far, thank you for your presence, for adding significance to this gathering. Your support reinforces our belief that GSB is more than a business school. It is living a growing community rooted towards value and vision. And finally, with deep reverence, we bow our heads to remember the man whom we celebrate today, whose legacy binds us all, Sri A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar, a towering figure of service, simplicity and foresight. His ideals continue to inspire generations, and today's gathering stands as a testimony to the values he lived by. May his life continue to compass, guiding us towards purposeful work and meaningful impact. As we bring this event to a close, let us carry forward the spirit of excellence, humility and service. Let us be reminded that legacies like Sri Parisutha Nadar are not bound by time. They live through action, through service and through every ethical decision we make in our lives. And once again, thank you for being part of the 11th A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Centenary Memorial Lecture. Kindly join us for lunch after this function. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. The national anthem is not just a song, it's a heartbeat, a reflection of our unity and pride. Let us now rise for the national anthem. With this, we conclude the 11th A.Y.S. Parisutha Nadar Centenary Memorial Lecture. Thank you for all for your gracious presence.